Focus your mind for steady growth and you will receive steady wealth. It almost rhymed. Today, I'm bringing you 5 mindset shifts and productivity tips to help you attract, earn, and keep more money in your life on the path to financial independence. Because as I like to say, getting good with money is 90% mental. The title of today's video is only one of 5 mindset shifts that I'm covering today, and I've never discussed any of these on the channel. Number 5 is actually one I think you'll relate to the most, and it'll instantly help you think more productively about your money, so do stick around. My name is Frankie, and this is The Money Resolution, where we resolve to get good with money. Subscribe if this is the kind of video you want YouTube suggesting more often. I make these weekly. Like this video if you like sunny days in the summer. I'm just trying to will some here to the Seattle area. And let's get to it, starting with the title topic. Number 1, some people are so broke, all they have is money. Said another way, there are people who have money and there are people who are rich. We all know it, but it's good to be reminded from time to time that money isn't everything. Money isn't your shortcut to happiness. People that become a slave to money kill themselves at jobs that they hate because the pay is good. They even bring their laptop on vacation. But more money can mean more work and a toxic work-life balance. More money can also lead to more isolation because the more resources you have, the less you need to actually rely on others. Some wealthy people become less family and community-oriented. Some people have nothing but money. They obsess over money as a means of just acquiring more of it. They measure their self-worth by their net worth. But obsessing over money is a goal that is going to leave you feeling empty. I'm not saying don't want more. I'm saying want more for the right reasons. Use money for the right reasons. Use it as a tool to get you where you want to go. Know how much is enough. Set your goals, action on them, achieve them, enjoy your life, and appreciate the people you love most in the meantime. Now, money might not be everything, but let's talk about not having it. Number 2, being cheap or poor is expensive. There are actually 2 layers to this one I'm gonna cover. First, being cheap or even extremely frugal doesn't always pay off in the long run. If you buy the cheapest everything as a goal, the items you buy won't last as long and you might find yourself spending twice as much to replace them often. Shoes, cheap IKEA furniture, technology, produce that spoils quickly, looking at you, Trader Joe's. Heck, even light bulbs and dog toys. Saving now is kicking the can down the road and potentially making it worse later. It's important to remember that spending money on quality is okay, and spending money can actually lead to a greater level of happiness if directed thoughtfully. Further, on the more grim side, the worse your financial situation, the more money can actually work against you. Once you dig a big enough hole, it gets even harder to dig yourself out of it. Think credit card debt that keeps getting worse, payday advance loans with horrendous interest rates, a lapse in insurance, or missing other bill payments can actually lead to fines. Fast food leads to health issues, which could massively impact your money in middle or older age. And again, fast fashion deteriorates and has to get replaced often. It's a nasty cycle to be in and one that needs to be avoided. Don't allow a bad situation to get worse. If things are bad or getting there, fight like heck to claw your way back. Number 3, you must always fight back against resistance to succeed. Last weekend, I read The War of Art by Steven Pressfield, which I highly recommend. I'll link to it in the description. It's especially great for creatives and you can actually read it in one sitting. But anyways, the first third of the book is dedicated to explaining how resistance holds us back and eventually it gets to how to break through. I relate this to money because, as I said last week, it's up to you to become educated about finances and dedicate time to improving yours. You can't let resistance get in the way. There are a million quotes I could share from this book, but I'm just gonna share this one. The most pernicious aspect of procrastination is that it can become a habit. We don't just put off our lives today, we put them off till our deathbed. Never forget, this very moment, we can change our lives. There never was a moment and never will be when we are without the power to alter our destiny. This second, we can turn the tables on resistance. This second, we can sit down and do our work. When it comes to tackling your financial to-dos, Don't let resistance win, or procrastination will become a habit. This is self-sabotage. You have the power to change your financial destiny. There's no better time than now and today. Because if not now, when? You're simply fooling yourself every time you say tomorrow is the day. Number 4, use the pay over tuition equation. Speaking of books, I learned about this next concept from the book Quit Like a Millionaire by Christy Shen and Bruce Leung. Christy talks through an equation that she developed to help her decide what degree actually to pursue. She knew some careers pay very well, but when you factor in the high cost of tuition, it may not make as much financial sense, especially for someone pursuing early retirement. So the equation goes something like this. First, do some research to figure out the median salary for people in the career that you're considering right out of college. Next, figure out the minimum wage as an annual salary and subtract that from the median salary you figured out. Then divide this number by the total cost of the potential degree. Christy explained she was debating between creative writing, accounting, and engineering. You might be debating a degree or actually just going back to school or perhaps grad school. Anyway, her chart looked like this. She figured out for every dollar on her degree that she spent in creative writing, she'd earn 20 cents back. She'd earn $1.83 per dollar spent on an accounting degree and $2.81 on a computer engineering degree. Now, is this a perfect equation? Absolutely not. It's limited to really only looking at the first year salaries out of college. But that said, it could help someone who is stuck or reconsidering going back to school or again, getting a master's degree, for example. It's a way to stop struggling with this decision and help you work smarter, not harder, right out of college. Either way, it worked out for her. She was able to retire at age 31 with $1 million nest egg in Canadian dollars. Now she's pursuing her original passion of blogging and writing books. Win-win. Number 3, avoid action faking. I learned about this concept from MJ DeMarco, and he explained action faking is when you make yourself feel like you've accomplished something, even though no actual progress has been made. It's tricking yourself into thinking you're making progress when you're not, and it's the worst kind of procrastination. So here's some examples I came up with. Buying something you don't need just because it's on sale. That's not saving money. Oh, and then splurging on a venti latte while you're out shopping to reward yourself for saving money. Getting a bonus check, saving just 10% and splurging the rest away immediately. Sitting down to review recent spending that busted your budget, but only looking at the last week of spending instead of the last few months. Moving money into savings where you'll be tempted to pull it back out instead of investing. You want to develop a passive income stream like write a book, so you outline idea after idea without actually writing. Or how about this one? Watching tons of self-help finance videos like this one, but never actually actioning on anything you learn. To combat this, it's critical to set goals and track your progress to them. There's just no other way to measure success than, well, to measure it. You can't fake it until you make it when it comes to financial success. So be honest with yourself and actually take action. Create your to-dos and tackle them. Tackle the hardest things first, like I talked about last week. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. I have a question. I kind of need some help. Do you like these money mindset topics and tips? Would you enjoy reading a book on the topic of money mindset? I'm sort of getting that itch to write my 4th book, and I clearly have a lot to say on this topic. So let me know in the comments if that's a book you'd be interested in reading. If the feedback is positive, I'll get on it. Oh, and give me a book title suggestion too for a little extra credit, I guess. I don't know. This video was technically part 2. So if you enjoyed today's tips, there are 5 more money mindset tips and strategies that you can learn about in part 1 here. Or check out this recent video about hidden budget busters since I mentioned those earlier. My name is Frankie. Your name is awesome for getting to the end. And I hope to see you next week on the next one or right now in one of these. Thanks.